So in this video, we've had a look at single brackets previously. Now we're going to look at double brackets. Double brackets. Now, these have a few different names. They're sometimes called double brackets. They're sometimes called FOIL expands. They're sometimes called binomial expansions. So FOIL expansions, binomial expansions, all of these mean the same thing. For our FOIL, I'm just going to call them FOIL expansions mostly. We have a single bracket at the beginning with two terms, and it's multiplied by another bracket with two other terms. And this arrangement looks like this. Now, what we want to do with these double brackets or these FOIL expansions, we want to expand them so there's no brackets. The process that we're going to use for this is often referred to as FOIL. Now, FOIL is a nice little way of remembering it. It means firsts, outsides, let me get this right, insides, and lasts. So to do this expansion, we multiply the first term in each bracket. So we do A times C, that's our first term. We do the outside terms in each bracket, A times D. We do the inside terms in each bracket, that's B times C. And then we do the last terms in each bracket, that's B times D. B times D. And then we put additions between these four terms. Now we have to be a little careful with the double brackets. If the double bracket expansions have negatives in them, we need to factor those negatives into the terms A, B, C, and D. Otherwise, we end up with a multitude of different types of FOIL expansions. So let's have a look at what this looks like with positive terms, and then we'll add some negatives in and we'll see how that works. So an example, we might have x plus 2 times x plus 7. So this is your simplest type. So we'll do the first, x times x, that's x squared. So that's first. We'll do the outsides, x times 7. X times 7 is 7x. We'll do the insides, 2 times x, that's 2x. And then we'll do the last, 2 times 7, that's 14. Because everything here is positive, we add them all together. So we get x squared. We've got some like terms here. 7x and 2x are like terms, so we want to combine them. Plus 9x plus 14. So this is our simplest type of FOIL expansion. Now let's have a look at one with negatives. It's going to work, by the way, the same way as this one did, but we have to attach the negatives to each of the A, B, C, and D terms. So for our negative example, we might have x minus 4 times minus x minus 8. You notice there's a lot of negatives here. So what we've got to do is we've got to say, well, A is x, B is minus 4, C is minus x, and D is minus 8. The A, B, C, and D terms from our original expression, they carry the negative signs with them if they have them. So if we do our FOIL expansion, we get firsts. So let's write down our FOIL. Firsts, x times minus x. So we've got x times minus x. We've got outsides, x times minus 8. X times minus 8. We've got insides, minus 4 times minus x. 4 times minus x. And then our lasts, minus 4 times minus 8. Minus 4 times minus 8. And between each of these terms, we put them all in brackets, we put an addition sign, plus, plus, plus. Now we simplify everything in those brackets and then clear up our signs at the end. So x times minus x is minus x squared. We have plus x times minus 8, that's plus minus 8x. We have minus 4 times minus x, so this is plus 4x. And then we have plus 4, minus 4 times minus 8, that's 32. Now we have a plus minus here. So this becomes minus x squared minus 8x plus 4x plus 32. We've got like terms, minus 8x plus 4x. So this becomes minus x squared minus 4x plus 32. So the whole process worked the same way. You had to carry the negatives with the a, b, c, and d values. So if something in the bracket has a negative in front of it, the negative goes with that term when you do the expansion. And this is one of the easier ways to do the FOIL expansions. You can do harder ways where you try and factor everything out so it hasn't got any negatives and then remember the FOIL expansion positive negative structures, but that tends to be much harder. So let's do some examples. So I'll write these up. You can pause the video, have a go. So we'll do 4 of these. Question 1, we have x plus 3 times x plus 10. Question 2, we have, we might have 2x minus 3 times 3x plus 4. For question 3, we will have, let's make this one a little bit more challenging. So to make this a little bit more challenging, we might give it some more negatives. We'll say that it's 3x minus 2 times minus x minus 8. And then for question 4, we might make question 4 a slightly different looking one. We'll make it x plus 2 times x minus 3 times x minus 4. So the fourth one, it's very similar to all of the others. You're going to do one FOIL expansion with 2 brackets, and then you're going to have to try and multiply that by the remaining bracket. And you can do that 2 ways. You can do that with a long FOIL expansion, or you can do that by splitting it up into 2 terms. All right, so I'll let you pause the video here, have a go. Okay, so now that you've attempted these, let's go through the solutions. So for the first one, we want to use FOIL, F-O-I-L. So first, x times x is x squared. Outsides, x times 10 is 10x. Insides, 3 times x is 3x. And lasts, 3 times 10 is 30. We put additions between all of these. We've got some like terms here, 10x, 3x, so we have to group these. So we get x squared plus 13x plus 30. So this is question 1, our FOIL expand. Now, question 2, same thing. Firsts, outside, insides, lasts. So firsts, 2x times 3x. Well, 2 times 3 is 6, x times x is x squared, so that's 6x squared. We've got outsides, 2x times 4, that's 8x. But we have negative symbols here now. So we want to carry these symbols with us if there are any negatives. So we did the outsides, no negative so far. Insides, minus 3 times 3x. That is minus 9x. And then last, minus 3 times plus 4, that is minus 12. So we put all of these in brackets, including the negative symbols, put pluses between them, and we find that this is actually 6x squared plus 8x minus 9x minus 12. We have some like terms here, the 8x and the 9x terms. So this will become 6x squared minus x minus 12. So very similar to the first FOIL expand, but we had negatives and you had to carry the negatives through the FOIL expand. So let me give myself a little more space for question 3. The more negatives we have, the more careful we have to be because it's just going to possibly cause problems. So we do FOIL again, F-O-I-L. Firsts, 3x times minus x. That will be minus 3x squared. And we'll put this in a bracket. The outsides, 3x times minus 8, well, that's going to be minus 24x. That's in a bracket. Insides, minus 2 times minus x, that's going to be 2x, negatives cancel. And then the last, minus 2 times minus 8, that's going to be 16, the negatives cancel. Put additions between these terms. So we have minus 3x squared minus 24x. Whenever you have a plus next to a minus in this fashion, it becomes the minus overtakes, plus 2x plus 16. We have two like terms here, the 24, minus 24 and the plus 2. So we end up with minus 3x squared minus 22x plus 16. And this is our solution for 3. This is using FOIL. Now the last one, this is sort of a bonus one. It's a little different than the others. What we want to do first is we want to FOIL expand this. And this will give us a 3-term bracket multiplied by a 2-term. And then once we've got that, I'll show you what we can do to deal with this. So we're going to FOIL expand the first two. So FOIL, just the first two, ignore the x minus 4. So we end up with, and we have negatives here, so you've got to be careful. So x plus 2 times x minus 3 will give us x times x, which is x squared. That's first. Outsides, x times minus 3, that's going to be minus 3x. Insides, 2 times x, that's going to give us 2x. And then lasts, 2 times minus 3, that's going to give us minus 6. Add pluses between these. If we have a plus next to a minus, the minus overtakes. So this is x squared. We have minus 3x plus 2x, that's going to be minus x. And then we have minus 6. So x plus 2 times x minus 3 equals this. So now that we've done this, our question becomes bracket x squared minus x minus 6 times x minus 4. Now for this kind of question, we can use a really long version of the FOIL formula, or we can simply expand it another way. The other expansion that we want to use is this happens to be equal to each of these terms multiplied by this binomial. Because that's really how the FOIL expansion worked. It said multiply, if we look at the two up here, it said multiply x by x minus 3, multiply 2 by x minus 3, expand those and simplify. So we can use the same reasoning here. So this happens to be equal to x squared times x minus 4 plus minus x times x minus 4 plus minus 6 times x minus 4. And we'll just color code this very briefly. We have the x squared here. We have the minus x here. We have the minus 6 here. And then we have the x minus 4 here, here, and here. So these kind of triple expansions, every kind of expansion really does work like this. You can multiply the end binomial by each of the terms in the trinomial, and then just write them out separately. So now we're just going to do 3 bracket expansions, really. So we have x squared times x is x cubed. X squared times minus 4 is minus 4x squared. Minus x times x is minus x squared. Minus x times minus 4 is plus 4x. Minus 6 times x is minus 6x. Minus 6 times minus 4 is plus 24. We have several sets of like terms. X squared here, x squared here, x here, x here. So we've got a single x cubed. Minus 4x squared minus x squared is minus 5x squared. Plus 4x minus 6x is minus 2x. And then we have a plus 24. So this is our solution. This was really a much harder version of the FOIL expansion, but it works in a similar way to many of the others. You just have to do this slightly more elaborate expansion process at the end in order to simplify it completely.